Yes. Okay, I think it's 11. Can you start it? So as I say, now is what happens if I take these shares out, but then the second. Sure.
Except for the advantages, you know. Yeah.
I take them off. So very good. Chief Customer Officer, so part of the starting team and the final squad of SmartShift. And let me start with a question. Who is your custom code SAP system? Okay, I'm talking today about the smart transformation to S/4HANA. So what key takeaways today should be first what we said, it's a password. So rather than getting to a clean code, traditional approaches of technical experiments and from our perspective, addressing this problem in the 21st century. To talk about an example which we have in the market. So, yeah, that's pretty much what I'm going to do today. Yes, small picture, so if you have pressing questions during the presentation, just stop. Questions and answers. Okay. So this is the marketing part, so you can stop listening for 1 minute. Talk a little bit where we come from. I said I was part of the team that started SmartShift 20 years ago. I want to talk a little bit about the idea and where we come from. Actually, when we started the SAP customers, 4.6C, 4.7 systems, and they had to move to CC and Unicode. You might remember the start of this, right? And then we're actually looking at partners and system integrators at this point of time. That customers to move these systems to Unicode systems. And they were sitting there, hacking their keyboards and correcting syntax issues in custom code. As you might remember, replacing WS upload, data sets, statements, work, and stuff like that. And we said, wait, in the 21st century, we're using 50 high-skilled IT professionals to do this kind of work. At this point of time, we actually said there's better ways of doing it, and we started to implement our first automation platform to do work, which instead is done manually. And since then, thanks to big bank and SAP, they are always been new stuff. They want database, they want S1, something like Unicode. It has to do something with custom code and what to do with custom code, and we're still about intelligent automation platform for addressing a better way to run the custom code systems. We're successful in that. We have done more than 3,000 projects since we started. Since 2015, it's 4 projects. So our first project was with a German company called Denna in 2015 already. Since then, we have done 350 plus S/4HANA transformation projects, and always working with automation. We have patterns on that, we have patterns on automation. And as you see, also a lot of customers are using this. You also see different industries. We are very much industry agnostic. So customers here from us, our shops anyways here. We were working for them since 10 years. We have a very good footprint here. As well. I was for this time with our first time with our construction group as for this time with our so we are pretty well used like this. Okay, so stop listening for the painting part and start with the now. And let's talk about a little bit Encore. We was reading the very good keynote session, which was already touching these aspects of Encore and cloud compatibility ERPs and why this is important. And I was a little afraid of I could use the Salesforce logo here, so I brought it. What is a cloud ERP? It's like Salesforce, Monday morning, you get to the office, there's a little screen where the system is updated. You must recognize it, right? Because it was just seamless. Also, all your customer reporting, everything is still working. That is a cloud compatible ERP, right? You just do that. If you look on the other hand on your SAP systems nowadays, it's your regular update cycles, 2 years, 3 years. You know, each time they will take you into 6 months with full user testing. That is pretty much for me what's the problem of a analytic ERP system. And why is that? If you look at the elements of Concur, there's a good paper from SAP about Concur. Concur has a lot of components, right? Concur is sometimes seen only in the space of custom code and extensions, but Concur has much more clean master data, right? Also basis processes which are clean, operations procedures which are clean. But obviously a big part of a clean core system is custom processes which are actually done in a way which is clean and compatible to a cloud ERP. So you don't, well, frankly, if you look at what SAP was doing in the past years, they gave us as developers all the freedom, right? You can do everything. You can even does allow hard modifications of the standard software. You can pretty much use every SAP server directly. You can use each and every API in the system directly. Super flexible, right? You love it, but the problem is every upgrade, lots of adoption processes, tons of testing, and stuff is breaking, right? So therefore, Concur is a good concept from the part of extensibility. The biggest focus is on using only so-called released APIs in the system, right? Stuff where SAP says this is a guaranteed API, and also not making direct access to SAP tables and doing hard modifications. So that's a real Concur system. So that is so cool, right? If I have a system like that, why don't go there? SAP modernization, the promise, right? The roadmap is super simple. Every existing SAP landscape, then we move to your S/4HANA system, and let's do Concur. Yeah, that's great, right? It's pretty straightforward if you look at it. But what to do with all this here, with this big roadblock, right? This is one of the big barriers of going to Concur. Sometimes if you listen to marketing, if you listen to SAP, you sometimes get the message and just go from here directly to there. Right? And that is a part where I want to focus today. There's a lot of myths and sort of marketing around that. And I want to clarify how you see this, how is this part and what is an effective approach to getting to a Concur. So why is custom code at all a challenge? Like I said before, we have around about 3,500 systems where we looked at. So we have a nice benchmark database about the systems. Of our customers, and that here is an SAP ECC system. And I just talked to systems, and we have plenty of them. Right? We have the BMW of 69 SAP landscapes, for example. So this is one representative ECC landscape. 22,000 customer objects, average of 2.7 million lines of custom code, and 30 to 60% usage ratio. And that is maybe just as a side note, the first step to getting to Jinko is throwing away stuff you don't use. So therefore, talk to your basis people, ask them how you use it, usage tracking, of tracking the system is super important. So that's the first. Repositories, again, what's the change impact when you move to S4HANA? If you move these ECC systems to S4, we have to fix 17,000 issues as an average to make the system S4HANA compliant. It's adapting the code to the data models, to speed changes in the field and whatever, 17,000 changes. But it is interesting. When these changes, only 350 are functional in nature. All the rest is technical issues, as I said. Only as much as 350 changes are really related to adapting to effective business processes like foreign trade, credit management, or whatever. So therefore, in principle, these 23,000, 3,000 checks to S4HANA, it's pretty much a technical change, which can be automated. Right? But it does. You have to change impact because of the HANA database. Right? That means also you have to do a certain compatibility corrections to the code, average of 9,000. And the code performing the HANA to use the new database, 15,000 changes as average. And then technical depth of what we call 300,000 issues in the code. Because when SAP gave us all the freedom to code as we wanted, right? And there is also kept the ABAP syntax standard compatible. So therefore, what I'm saying here, these systems are big, they are high, and there's a lot of change impact, and this leads to the slow innovation and the slow adoption of SAP standard software. And actually, at the end, it also leads to a higher TCO of these systems. Okay, so custom code is bad, scrap it, bring it, get rid of it. We also worked with the American SAP user group and did research here on why customers need customizations. So we asked, I think it was 77 customers, mostly from the US, who actually stated why we need custom code. And there's a lot of stuff here, like 35% said, I need it for reporting analytics. This is for me the sexiest use case of customizations, right? Because there's good analytics frameworks also you can use out of the box, out of the standard. But there's other parts, like 56%, they need it for industry-specific processes. Right? We know this nice, clean code is not adapting the processes which we need. Now, that's super interesting. Here, 21%, 20% actually say we need it to have a competitive advantage, and we need it to innovate, right? And I think that is, with all this custom code and the problems, well, it's good parts in the system which is worth to invest in, right? The only problem is to find it, to get your custom repository down to it, and then really address it and modernize it. So also 72% of these customers say they want to use customizations in their future systems as well. Okay, so how do we do that? To the conventional approach to handling custom code, you know that. You ask your system integrator of choice. If you ask him, how do I go to S4? It comes with the standard approach to custom code, which is the offshore center bringing a bus of people which actually address this problem and fix it for us. Right? What's the problem with this? On the one hand, it takes a lot of time. On the other hand, it also includes a lot of quality problems. Manual coding itself is prone for errors. And most important from my perspective, I put it down here, it only scratches the surface. What do I mean with that? You saw this big change in like right, thousands of HANA issues, ES4HANA issues, technical debt. If you are just handling these problems with force, what you do is you focus on certain things. Right? You will often hear, for example, if you go to S4, you will hear from your system integrators, I only do prior one fixes of ATC. The rest is not that important. An example, we work for a big healthcare company in Germany. And actually, they just had this simple problem, move to a database. So, system integrator, compatibility issues, there was one about 15,000 issues in the system. They said, okay, we fix only the prior one issues. The rest is not that bad. What happened? In these other 12,000 issues they didn't fix, they introduced functional problems in the system, right? Because these OTC issues around S4HANA compatibility, they're mostly around sort orders for select state, like I said, missing sort orders. And so suddenly the financial reporting in the system was going wrong. So actually at the end, we had a nice project because the CFA was doing the efficiency project, which was just focusing on fixing the stuff which was not fixed earlier. Right? So therefore, and it's not only this, right? It's also taking care of technical debt in the system. Usually, if you just have the ability to use manual labor, you don't get rid of any of your technical debt in the system. And so our question actually is, customers have become smart in doing their business, right? They're also not using the ways of doing business 200 years ago. So they are also innovating. So why do you stick to this old approach of manual brute force labor in this area of custom coding? And that is where we come with our intelligent automation platform. Actually, I like to call it our SmartShift washing machine, but in my marketing told me that I'm not allowed to use it because it doesn't sound sophisticated enough. So super intelligent AI-powered washing machine. And that is actually the platform we have built, which is patented. How does it work? We take custom code. We take all the usage logs from HTML, as I said, also definitions and stuff like that. But we also take input from SAP. We have good input. We need to understand simplification items. We need to understand also the LTC checks. And the first thing is we load that into this washing machine and we disassemble everything. So we have our entire processor, we break it apart, and then we enrich the information with analysis, right? We, for example, look at dependency analysis, data flow analysis, CRUD analysis, and stuff like that. With the idea to build a comprehensive model of the coding, and then utilize so-called intelligent automation algorithms to automatically correct custom code. Right? So we're doing that to understand it, but also to automatically change it. I'll come to an example. I'll just jump to that. Right and render this machine here in the matter of computing this was doing 1.3 changes to their coding in a couple of computing hours. But this transformation algorithms cover all these different aspects which you have seen before. I make the code compatible, make the code S4HANA compatible, make the code perform very well, secure, and also addressing a lot of this technical debt in the systems. One example of one of these transformations, developers are lazy. So, for example, a lot of developers are using select style state to fetch data from the different layers. I see there's lazy developers in the group. I can say so. Select style just to avoid that you need to think which fields I do require, right? So therefore you select everything. What's the problem on database? This is one of these non-performing statements. It's not according to the scope of SQL where you say you limit the side sets. and you don't transfer that much data. So one of these transformation rules, for example, is find which fields do I require, and then we write the code. So instead of select star, it says select field 1, 2, and 3. And it is not a text search and replace, right? This tooling is intelligent. It understands, for example, how many rows are in the table and stuff like that. And then it also does the replacement, yes, and it also prevents from doing changes if they are risky and so on and so forth. You could envisage 1.3 million changes to a mission critical system. We better know what we are this transformation, otherwise we're in trouble. And then all this coding goes back into the system. We use standard SAP transport mechanisms, so the code sits in the transport, has all the version history, has all the code commenting, and it looks like a super fast developer was doing it. And actually, we once decided as a company not to give licenses to our customers, so customers are not using the tool themselves. We are doing that because we think customers want a turnkey outcome, right? They don't want to remember what is the tool. They just want to know my code is updated to S4, it's working S4, it's performing, it's secure. And this platform we use actually for different solutions, as I said, which we deliver to our customers. We always start with this plan review. So the first step is very deep analysis of the code. What I'm also glad to tell you is that once we do this analysis, we have transformed the code in the background. Machine, right? So that is also why the analysis is pretty detailed and pretty good. Then we will take the code to this transformation, which I just described. And then one important part of certainly lessons learned, I will
taking in consideration that example that you put in the beginning, the 20,000 lines of code change. How measure you in that kind of project the impact in terms of time and resources that you need to involve in execute that project?
As I said, most of these cases, we exactly understand size of system, change impact, and what type of changes need to be done.
But for that example, in terms of resources and time, what
is for us is a system. It is a guaranteed quality outcome through the transformation of the system. Yeah. But if you tell us it's 80,000 custom objects, it's 4 to 5 weeks. So we are scaling through automation up to people. Right? So therefore, this time frame is very super fast. And the majority is the computing, the intelligence sits in this computing hours, where we're doing the majority of changes, but on the top, quality assurance, and also it doesn't make sense to build automation for all the corner cases, where there's so much about is so complex. So there's a couple of guided transformations which we believe, and that is pretty much the rest of the time which we need for these systems.
And from our component, what do you need? Just access to the system?
Access to the system. We do the tedious work. We sometimes need interaction. Also, we saw there's 350 issues which are functional in nature, but there's always stuff where you need to work for, because you need to understand the business process. But that is the stuff where we step very good to our customers or to our partners, because they have the industry knowledge to do certain things. But we're taking this. Friends call monkey work in this process. I just wanted to highlight one part here, what we are also doing maintenance. Don't underestimate the effort of doing maintenance. So you copy your development box to S4. You have the system, ECC system, which is still live, right? It's still in production. There's still business bugging you to implement changes, and usually you can't implement the freeze of these systems. And all these changes have to be retrofitted, is a term to S/4HANA. And the problem is the code in SEC now looks different to S/4. And all the standard SAP retrofits tools don't automate this process. And so we also built great automation, which does an automatic process of keeping these systems in sync. The impact you also see with the Procter & Gamble example in a second. The last part not least, that's the final part. Once you're on S4, you still need to think about clean core. Because maybe during this project you have cleaned up a little, right? You have thrown away 40 to 60% of the objects, but the rest is still not clean core. It's still using the same APIs, still directly access SAP tables, and you still have to work on that. And that is where we are since 2 years was fully investing. And it's a bit of motivation to from this code. So at the end, the process looks like that. Existing SAP environment, we do a custom code analysis on the system. When we do the custom code transformation, we usually do it twice. We do it once on the sandbox system with a fully converted custom code. So it's not this technical sandbox where you enter your first purchase order and then your user exits explode, right? It's a fully transformed sandbox system. And then you do the whole thing in the box. We have 3 months, 6 months for other customers, sometimes 2 years, 3 years when they roll out the system in 2 different regions and you still have your ECC systems in life. Right? And then you start thinking about what do I do with the rest? How do I bring this to these modern principles? But I just wanted to mention that it needs to be a stepwise approach, right? There is not, the alternative is start from scratch, right? Do greenfield implementation. But frankly, I have seen that for customers with existing systems, I have seen most projects like that fail. And the only clean implementation I've seen was a customer from Norway, which was completely built from scratch, right? Languages, the system, and then also they started to extend the system to BTP and code principles, right? Then you can do that, but right? You have so many custom processes you keep, you need to adapt, but you need an alternative approach. Now, the alternative approach is really taking a stepwise approach. First, start with removing that weight from the system, like get rid of unused code, consolidate systems, like AstraZeneca was doing for, I think, 2 to 3 systems altogether. Then, approach, and to all these changes, we could change the syntax to have a cloud-ready syntax, for example, also stuff which we have in our toolbox, right, which we can do. Make it compliant, make it performing, but also make it secure, right? There's a lot of loopholes in the old coding. Then you can start thinking about getting in depth with a clean core. Remove modifications from the system, get rid of art modification, remove clones, SAP clones. We always regularly see hundreds of SAP clones in SAP systems. And then we start with the really hard stuff, right? Modernizing the applications, shifting to whitelisted APIs, CSS views, replacing legacy extensions with key user extensions, and getting to the programming paradigms. But also to the big data environment. This can the Procter & Gamble system. They are using around about 1,500 APIs right now. There is 2% whitelisted APIs available for them to replace right now. So therefore, the core system for one of these old SAP systems makes it infeasible. So therefore, you need to do a pragmatic approach, a stepwise approach, use the automation to get faster S4, get rid of the dead weight, and constantly start working on that. And this year is an agile process actually, right? Applying that with Procter & Gamble right now. This will be bi-weekly sprints where you take certain parts and you start working these applications. And that brings me to the end here. I think what's the benefit of using automation instead of using a brute force is we mentioned it is super fast, right? Speed. We accelerate that massively. Usually, custom code transformation is on the critical path of these projects. It gives you confidence because quality is also super high. With this example in a second. And we also address technical debt in the system and productivity for the domains. But also new people who don't need to do the technical work. They can do the people to start where you need functional work. Functional work to actually address it. So summing up that with the Procter and Gamble example, obviously in presentations like that, you pick the big customers, right? Because their problems are even bigger, but it is also working for the Procter and Gamble of the world itself. But this is a very good example. Procter and Gamble supply chain system is super mission critical. Right? It is really, I think time was close to damage. So it's really mission critical. And they had 120,000 custom objects, so very big base. The first what we did is we removed 43,000 custom objects from the systems which were not used. And then we took these other objects in 5 to 8 weeks timeline, I think, for this system. We addressed 1.3 million changes in their system. This was for all the compatibility issues, but we also brought the code to cloud syntax. We perform get rid of all these security problems like single authority checks, hard code, directory traversal, and stuff like that. And normalized it. Results are, from my perspective, amazing. Right, the error rate was super low, like I think 20 to 30 tickets in testing for the custom code work stream, right, with 1.3 million changes. This is super high quality. And we also had student meetings for them. As I said, the system is out to different regions. They went live on India last weekend without any problem. Now they're going out to the US and also Asia Pacific. And so for 4 to 5 years, we are retrofitting 2,000 transports per month from ECC to S4. And that's a big change impact. Right, where you better plan for instead of then later trying to explain to your business that you need to freeze the system for a year, which one likes. And what we're doing is fair. This clean first applications for them, SAP platform with applications on BTP. Feedback from the guys is pretty so actually part of the student committee for this project, you have been presenting this part. For whom this benefit is that our business processes can still run. ECC, there is pretty much no business for freeze. For them, side he's the partner architect. He's responsible from the technical side, and he was developing this high quality because it took out these pain problems out of testing, regressions in testing. They could focus on other stuff. And I was able to receive with the team the supplier of the business partner of this January, which was 1 out of 6,000 IT suppliers of P&G, which sees that, and there was for a small company like ours, so it was a super success. We're pretty proud of that. Okay, so with that, I think the message clean course and the book of adaptive process. There's better ways of handling custom code than classes of offshore and nearshore people, and especially for your business process experts, there's a better way to work to do instead of fixing syntax issues in the system. And therefore, I would invite you to have a free custom code health check, simple process. We sign, we take your custom code, run it through this super intelligent, super duper washing machine, and present the rating to what the better way to the customer is. Questions?
You said you're a small company. If you figures, how many employees?
It's 350 people. We started out actually in Germany, so we have 2 offices in Germany. We have sales representatives in Nordics, in UK, so markets are which we saw from Germany to local representations, but also US is a big market for us. So we all have the other global company. This project, for example, it's a project manager, it's a technical architect, it's 3 4 harbor parts. From our side, that's it. It's not 20, 30, 40 people we need per project, and that is why we are also scaling pretty rapidly. Questions?